Have you ever wondered how sailors navigated the vast ocean before the advent of GPS? How did they know where they were in the middle of the sea with no landmarks in sight? The answer lies in the ingenuity of John Harrison. Our protagonist today was a self-taught carpenter and clockmaker. In this video, we're going to explore the life of John Harrison, his groundbreaking inventions, and the challenges he faced. John Harrison was born on a spring day, March 24, 1693, in the small village of Folby, England. His father was a carpenter, and from a young age, John followed in his father's footsteps, learning the trade that would later play a crucial role in his inventions. As a child, John fell ill with smallpox, and it was during this time that he was given a watch to keep him occupied or maybe amuse himself. This sparked a fascination with clocks that would last a lifetime. It was said that as a youngster, he spent hours disassembling and reassembling clocks, captivated by their intricate mechanisms. John's passion for music also began in his early years. His understanding of rhythm and precision, honed through his love for music, would later find a place in his horological inventions. John's early career saw him merge his carpentry skills with his interest in clockmaking. Alongside his brother James, he built his first clock in 1713, followed by two long-case grandfather clocks in 1715 and 1717. These early creations marked the beginning of John's extraordinary journey into the realm of horology. Despite being largely self-taught, John's clocks were known for their precision and innovation. While he used his carpentry skills to create wooden movements in clocks and developed the grasshopper escapement to improve the quality of clocks. Moving on, just imagine you're a sailor in the 18th century, navigating the vast and unpredictable oceans. You have a fairly accurate idea of your latitude, how far north or south you are from the equator. That's easy enough to determine using the position of the sun. But figuring out your longitude or how far east or west you are is a whole different ballgame. This was the longitude problem, and it was the greatest danger for seafarers of the time. Without an accurate measure of longitude, ships were often lost at sea, leading to tragic maritime disasters. One such disaster was the Scilly naval disaster of 1707, which led to the British Parliament passing the Longitude Act of 1714. This act offered a reward of £20,000, equivalent to about £1.5 million today, to anyone who could solve the longitude problem. If you don't know why it was so difficult to determine longitude, well, it's because it required knowing the time at a fixed location, like Greenwich, while also knowing the local time. And in the 18th century, there was no clock that could keep accurate time at sea. So there were two main approaches to solving this problem: the clock method and the astronomical method. The clock method required a seaworthy clock that could keep the time set at Greenwich for another fixed location. However, finding a clock that could withstand the rocky motion of a ship and a range of temperatures was quite a challenge, don't you think? On the other hand, the astronomical method involved observing the angle between the moon and a particular star, and then consulting an almanac that catalogued the time at Greenwich based on the position of celestial objects. But using a telescope on a ship's deck was no easier than using a pendulum clock. So the longitude problem was a significant hurdle, and it took the combined efforts of geographers, explorers, astronomers, and clockmakers to eventually solve it. And the man who played a crucial role in this was none other than John Harrison. He rose to the challenge, developing several key inventions that revolutionized navigation and timekeeping. John Harrison's most famous invention is undoubtedly the marine chronometer. Known as H1, this clock was built between 1730 and 1735. This timekeeping marvel was the first real deal for seafarers. With the marine chronometer, ships could finally rely on time to figure out their longitude. They'd compare a set time to the stars and use that info to track their journey. Moving on to H2, built between 1737 and 1739, Harrison brought in a spring remontoire to smooth out any kinks in the gear train's movements. While Harrison didn't invent the remontoire, he was credited with its perfection. Now, H3 brought two of Harrison's own inventions to the stage: a bimetallic strip to tackle temperature changes and the caged roller bearing. Both of these inventions are still used in a variety of machines today. And then for H4, aka the Jeffries watch, Harrison started work on this watch after a watchmaker called John Jeffries produced the pocket watch to his specifications in 1753. So, Harrison's marine chronometers H1, H2, H3, and H4 provided sailors with an accurate measure of time that could be used to calculate longitude. But wait, there's more. Before the chronometers, Harrison gave us the grasshopper escapement in 1722. It's a nifty mechanism with two pallets operated by a pendulum, regulating clock hand's speed. Well, the movement helps regulate the speed at which the clock hands move, and its accuracy was the real key to Harrison claiming his prize. Then in 1726, he dropped the gridiron pendulum, a lifesaver for ships trying to keep steady time. It used alternating brass and iron rods counteracting temperature changes, keeping that pendulum swinging at a steady beat. Pure genius. So, Harrison's inventions were truly revolutionary. But let me tell you, his journey was not without its challenges. We know that he's a carpenter's son, not a man of privilege or formal education. There is no record of his education, yet he was determined to solve one of the greatest problems of his time, the longitude problem. When Harrison presented his first design in 1730, his invention was met with skepticism from some of the most influential figures of the time, including Sir Isaac Newton. The scientific community was literally divided, with many favoring the astronomical method to solve the longitude problem. The British Parliament had offered a reward of up to £20,000 under the 1714 Longitude Act. However, due to political rivalries, Harrison was never fully able to receive these rewards. Despite the challenges, Harrison persevered. He continued to improve his designs, making several advances in timekeeping technology. His work eventually gained the support of the Longitude Board, allowing him to build and test his designs. One of the most significant challenges Harrison faced was during the development of his second clock, H2. He discovered a serious design flaw in the concept of the bar balances, but he didn't give up. He abandoned all work on this second machine and focused on developing a solution. And it paid off. His marine chronometers revolutionized navigation and greatly increased the safety of long-distance sea travel. Toward the end of his life, he received recognition and a reward from Parliament. Moving on, let's talk about the impact his inventions had on the world of technology. Harrison's marine chronometer, for instance, was a precursor to the precise timekeeping devices we use today. It paved the way for the development of more accurate wristwatches and clocks, which are integral to our daily lives today. This invention also revolutionized sea travel, making it safer and more precise. It was a precursor to the GPS systems we use today, which guide everything from cars to airplanes. Harrison's invention of the bimetallic strip, a device that compensates for changes in temperature, is found in many modern machines. This ingenious mechanism lies at the heart of devices from thermostats to refrigerators. Similarly, the caged roller bearing that Harrison developed is present in most machines with moving parts. This invention has wide-ranging applications, from car engines to wind turbines. Well, the sad part is that despite all these groundbreaking inventions, Harrison was never truly recognized during his lifetime. It was only after his death that his contributions to horology and navigation were truly appreciated. Another interesting thing is, John Harrison's story has not only influenced the world of technology, but also popular culture. His life and work have been depicted in various forms of media. For instance, the book Longitude by David Sobel tells the tale of Harrison's quest to solve the longitude problem. This book was later adapted into a television series, bringing Harrison's story to a wider audience. And that's a wrap for today's video. John Harrison's inventions not only solved the longitude problem, but also laid the groundwork for many of the technologies we use today. From the wristwatches we wear to the GPS systems that guide us, we owe a lot to this remarkable man. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What do you find most fascinating about John Harrison's story? Do you know of any other inventors who have left a lasting impact on our world? Or any story that you want us to cover? Drop your comments below. And if you found this video useful, please like it and make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next videos. And as always, thank you for watching.